Hello everyone, I'm Sam, a first year at Oxford University, and this is what happened this week. So the 31st of October, of course Halloween, is also Samhain, a pagan festival. It's a festival that takes place to mark the start of the second, darker, winter half of the year. One of the classicists in my college is actually pagan, so we did some really nice things to celebrate Samhain. One thing that people often do to celebrate Samhain is have what's known as a dumb supper. They have traditional foods and they eat it dumb, that is to say, not speaking. We didn't quite do that, but we watched a movie whilst we were eating our food, so it kind of counts. And this is what we had. Some of them made venison, which I'd never seen or really heard of before, which was really interesting. And we had all sorts of berries. For example, this really nice blackberry kind of sauce that we made. Obviously, as a vegetarian, I couldn't eat the venison, but I had a very nice corn escalope instead. For starters, we made some pumpkin bread, and we had that with all these different types of cheeses. Except actually, we were too late to buy any pumpkins, so we did our best to have this pumpkin bread, which is traditional. And for dessert, we had soul cakes, which act as gifts for the spirits of the departed loved ones, which were made out of pear and also really nice. They were quite muffiny, but they were slightly more dense and slightly bready and slightly sweet as well. It was really nice because all the classicists from our college were there, and we also had some friends of our pagan friend from Worcester to come over as well. And in general, it was a really nice way to do Halloween. Even though we have a really nice dining hall in college, more or less, we can't really get food on the weekends, so we mostly have to sort ourselves out. So, a really fun activity, we decided as a sort of staircase that we were going to make pancakes for breakfast, brunch, this weekend as well. It was a really nice event. We came down to the junior common room, which is this kind of communal space, after some people had made the pancakes, some people had bought the ingredients, everyone got involved in some way, and everyone bought their own toppings. I had my granola, which I have for breakfast, which I brought down, which definitely wasn't as popular as the person who brought down their Nutella, but everyone had something else from someone else, and it was just really nice to get to speak to everyone as well, because maybe you hadn't seen them for a few days because everyone's working in different libraries or different places all around. And yeah, this was a really good day of food, because we had the pancakes for breakfast, of course I had all the Samhain stuff for dinner, and for lunch, we also decided to make stuffed peppers. This was really nice of everyone because most people wanted meat, but I'm vegetarian, so they were happy to oblige and make something vegetarian, which hopefully other people didn't mind too much about. So again, for this one, I was part of the buying the ingredients squad, so we went to the shop, brought the stuff we need, and other people cooked it, and then again, we all shared it and all really enjoyed it. If you're enjoying the video so far, please do subscribe. I say this every video, and I'm going to keep this one short. I'm trying to get to 1,000 as soon as possible, so my friends stop bullying me for making small videos without making any money. A few days after we arrived in Oxford in Freshers Week, there was a very high-profile boxing fight going on, which was Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3. And I think this was happening in America, so it was in a really early hour of the morning, so none of us stayed up to watch it. But a group of us decided that we would wake up the next day and find some sort of upload and watch it basically at 7 AM the next day, not knowing the score, not knowing what happened. And I'm quite into my boxing, and this weekend I decided to go with some other people who have actually boxed before to Iffley Road Sports Club, which is the Oxford University kind of sports centre, to have a trial session at the boxing club. I thought I would try boxing, and it was really cool because I've never done anything like that before. Of course, like I say, I like the idea of boxing, kind of watching it sometimes. I just like the idea that at any moment anything could happen and the fight could end at any time. Although I tend not to like it when it gets too gory, so often I'm looking away. But I do just really enjoy the hype of boxing and mixed martial arts and stuff like that, so I thought it would be fun to try out myself. I actually found the session quite interesting. At the start we went around laps of the running track, and then we did kind of a lot of interval stuff within the kind of sports hall. So there actually wasn't much boxing going on for the first half. Then we split into groups and some people started to do boxing on the heavy bags, and also maybe with a partner, someone holding their gloves up and the other people practicing what they need to practice. I didn't have any gloves, so that was a bit of a shame. Other people that I went with that had been before, had boxed before they came to Oxford, had stuff with them, but I made do. I also didn't have a skipping rope, so that was quite funny. When everyone was skipping, I was just pretending to skip, which probably looked quite comedic, but you've got to do what you've got to do. And it was good fun. I think next week I might try kickboxing, I might try some other stuff, just to see what works best for me, but I do definitely want to try something. And I guess if I went every week for 3 or 4 years, maybe I could make some progress, and it should be really fun as well. This week, we also had meetings with the college president. So that is the person who I guess is in charge of all the college's goings on and is the person most senior in that. The president lives on site in one of the buildings, and it's really big. It's basically the size of a large house. All of us live in different staircases, in different rooms, in different corridors, but the president basically has a whole staircase to herself and her family, which is just full of loads of different rooms. And we went in, and one of the cool things, apart from speaking to the president about how we're getting on, what we're enjoying, all that kind of stuff, is we got to sign a book which every student of the college had written their name in at some point, saying, this is my name, this is where I come from, this is what I'm studying. And it's basically just a massive historical record of who's studied at Trinity College. This was really exciting because we can see just now how old this book is, and it was really cool that we got to sign it and add our own names to the book. And I was actually the last person to see the president that day, so I had as much time as I wanted to sort of flick through the book, have a look around, and really just take my time. And I chose that slot on purpose because I knew there was no one after me, so I also maybe had a bit more time to just film some stuff, which I thought was quite funny. Our library in college is actually getting renovated, so we have this new building which is called the Lawns Pavilion, which is quite surgical, quite boxy, which is now, for this term anyway, our predominant library working space. I actually really like it there. I think it gets me to work quite hard, but we thought as a college, a few of us would try the other libraries out in Oxford, because there are loads, to see what studying in those would be like as well. We went to what's probably the most famous, best looking, iconic Oxford library, which is the Bodleian and the Radcliffe Camera, which looks like this, and you've probably seen it before if you've ever looked up Oxford University, because this is the image, this is the library that always comes up. It was really interesting to see inside the library, because I've seen the outside a lot, never inside, but I guess it's a library, I wasn't really sure what to expect. Of course, these libraries are open to any college, so it was super busy. We had to walk around quite a long time waiting for a desk, but it did eventually come. And it was really cool to work there, but to be honest, I'm quite happy working in our library so far. It's much closer, so if you ever forget a book in your room, you can quickly nip back and get it, but I'm definitely going to explore more libraries in the future. I said I was going to talk about this last video, but we have managed to basically get the projector in the junior common room, and we can basically project to like a cinema-sized screen all the football matches or whatever we want to watch. And that honestly has transformed that room from like a very fine 6 out of 10 to now a 9 out of 10. We put FIFA on there, we put football on there, it's great. So Kat, who has this Sky and BT, connected her computer for this game, and we watched the Liverpool versus Manchester United game. She's a Manchester United fan and came with a few other Manchester United fans. I'm a Liverpool fan, and there were a few other Liverpool fans there. And it was a really crazy game to watch because it ended 5-0 to Liverpool. I say it was a crazy game to watch. We watched the first half before the Manchester United fans had enough, and of course Kat had the computer, so she decided enough's enough, and we actually watched the second half on just my laptop because she wanted to leave, which is completely fair enough. But there we go, that's my week. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It's always great fun filming and reminiscing about what happened, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.